Click subscribe to get latest news and don't forget to press the bell icon.
It was a long time coming, but Americans might finally get their justice for some of the illegal actions that Obama did while in office. His guilt has long been suspected and possibly proved by some, but the government agencies formerly under his thumb were loath to rat him out. After all, he was working for the election of a Clinton, and people who cross the Clintons have a bad habit of waking up dead. All of this, combined with the genius way that our former communist-in-chief governed his tracks, means that we've been coming up empty with ways to prosecute him for things we all know perfectly well he did. After 7 months of the Trump administration, though, the worm has finally turned and law enforcement are finally willing to talk about the overstepping of Obama and his cronies. This could be what leads us to an open investigation that uncovers all the dirty little secrets from the Obama White House and all the damage they did to American freedom. There have been rumors floating around that the FBI, NSA, and other intelligence agencies under the Obama administration were specifically targeting Donald Trump, his associates, and other conservative figures for surveillance in the twilight months of his campaign. Although the mainstream news media framed this as a mere rumor, it seems as if there was truth in it after all. CIA Director Mike Pompeo appeared on public television where he was asked if he had seen all the requests made by the Obama administration, and if they were all legitimate. The director revealed to a national audience that he had seen the requests, and had sent all the information to Capitol Hill where an active investigation is currently taking place. It's known that Obama officials asked for participants and various intelligence documents to be unmasked in the hopes of finding the names of Trump campaign members who might have been connected with foreign governments or officials. Unfortunately for the former president, disclosing the names of U.S. citizens identified through NSA surveillance is a federal crime, and that could come back to haunt him in the years to come. There is an active investigation going on all across Capitol Hill. We have done our job as the CIA. We have provided information and responses to inquiries from multiple committees, Senate and House side. We will continue to do that to make sure they can perform their oversight functions properly, the director stated. Maybe this unmasking thing doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it really is. The masking of information is for the purpose of keeping Americans' information private when they have nothing to do with an ongoing investigation. For example, suppose your next-door neighbor was really a drug kingpin. If there was an investigation going on that centered around your neighbor, you wouldn't want all of your personal information dragged through the federal system just because you called to ask them to bring chips to the block party. The masking protects those who have contact with a suspect but have no implication in the crime being investigated. Last month, the Senate Judiciary Committee started to take a hard look into the unmasking of Trump campaign officials by the Obama administration, something for which Republicans across the nation have been clamoring. There is a specific allegation that has been floating around, that the conversations between Michael Flynn and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak came into the White House with Flynn masked, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, D-Rip, said in a speech before Congress, according to the Washington Times. And that a decision was made in the Obama White House to unmask him, which then led to leaks to the newspapers and so forth. The House Intelligence Panel ended up issuing 3 subpoenas to intelligence agencies for records relating to the unmasking requests made by the White House, many of which came from top cabinet positions in Obama's administration. These claims have sparked outrage, especially amongst conservative figures across the nation. Fox News' Sean Hannity has threatened to bring forth the biggest lawsuit he can if it turns out that he was subject to illegal NSA surveillance and unmasking under the previous presidency. I am going to sanction the biggest lawsuit that I possibly can with the biggest attorneys in the country so we can do something to stop the shredding of the Constitution, he said in his radio broadcast on August 4th. What makes the situation even more difficult is that Obama had taken measures into his own hands to keep as many of his administration's records regarding this matter sealed. He has moved them into his still unopened presidential library in Chicago. These records cannot be opened for another 5 years, according to Fox News. Such efforts to obfuscate investigations are surely frustrating to some, but Mike Pompeo's recent remarks have confirmed that the situation is being investigated and that the examination is proceeding at a good pace. This might not seem like that big of a deal, but it's actually huge. If we can't hold our public officials responsible when they breach our privacy in order to gain some sort of political footing, we have nothing, and the government is completely out of control. Maybe people have forgotten what the government is supposed to be around for, so let's recap. We hired them to do things like protect us, pave our roads and keep the lights and water on at prisons so that the murderers and rapists don't go free. We don't pay them to sit around thinking of ways to extort us out of our money in order that they can rape and murder and get away with it. If we can finally get something to stick to Obama so that he can be prosecuted, it will be a delightful day for everyone who values their freedom. Not only can we possibly roll back some of the damage he did, but it will hopefully be a warning to all those who considered following in his footsteps.